guys. Welcome back to the Lifestyle Dropbox. We are going into our episode number 2. We're here to discuss all the fears, fetishes, and the fantasies of the swinger and BDSM lifestyle. Today, we are going to be talking about hosting and the logistics and the experience that us professional and brand owners and hosts out there go through in order to curate the events for you. Okay. Guys, you can find me on Instagram at lifestyle underscore, excuse me. You can find me on Instagram at lifestyle underscore drop underscore box. Also on Instagram at lifestyle dropbox underscore podcast and on Patreon and Spotify at lifestyle dropbox. So here we go, guys. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to let you know now, hosting is frustrating. And the reason I'm going to start with that is because I don't want to sugarcoat anything when it comes to the logistics and how things are set up and curated for you guys. It is a big difference between the business side versus the customer side. And in this particular episode, we're going to go and learn the difference between the two and navigate, through both and see what the experiences are. So first, we're going to start off with how things even get started, how you even find the host. Some of you guys find it on social media. I know some of you guys have paid sites that you go to. I don't want to name any names. You have to find those on your own. But there are some free sites out there as well that you guys are on. And for me, I am a creator of my own flyers. So, I put out my stuff and I put it on multiple platforms, and here we go. So it starts with just a simple posting on these sites and a simple RSVP with a telephone number that I provide on my flyer. And what happens is when people call me up, excuse me, not call, but some people do call WhatsApp. Please don't come through WhatsApp. That's kind of rude. If the if the flyer says RSVP via text, it is via text through the cell phone, not through Kick, not through WhatsApp, not through the DM, none of those things. So as a guest, when you are RSVPing, please have the common courtesy and go the route that the host is requesting that you do so. Sometimes you may get ignored if you don't follow those specific, directions, and that falls on you. But for the lifestyle Dropbox, I prefer via text. I do speak to some people directly, but I try not to. It does kind of limit the interactions, the multiple questions. I do provide information, detailed information on the sites for my events to minimize some of the questions. But moving forward, when it comes to any guest RSVPing, I prefer to be contacted via text. After the text message is done, I always ask, hey, what's your profile name? What's your platform? How did you find me? That's important for the initiation, and definitely want to see where your traffic is coming from, notate all those things. The majority of my traffic does come from Instagram and some of the swinger sites and also the BDSM sites. Again, I'm not going to mention any names just to, keep it clean here. But once that happens, usually I'll vet you. I'll go through your profile. In this particular case, if you don't know what vetting is, it is a semi-thorough investigation, if you want to call it that, background check. You want to make sure that you're not bringing any and everybody through the door. You want to make sure that you at least have some type of information on them, and use your best discernment as well when it comes to picking and choosing your guests. There are some events where they do check IDs, and there are some events where they do not. In this particular case, majority of them that I've attended to, and also my events, IDs are not checked. But there are security at the door sometimes to check certain things, maybe pat you down a little bit. So don't think you're just going to walk in the door, with whatever. when it also comes to RSVPing and the vetting process, I want to make sure that I know what you guys are into before you walk in the door. What are you in the lifestyle for? How long have you been here? Have you attended any events before? These things are extremely important before letting someone in the door. Like I said, vetting is basically retrieving as much information as you can to make the best decision possible if this person is, worthy or not to be, in your environment. After that person is vetted, there is my events are prepay. I do not bend my rules at all. There's multiple reasons why a person or a host or even a guest should not want to do a cash transaction. We'll go into that momentarily. But after, for the payment process, it's usually, Cash App, Venmo, not Venmo, Apple Pay, or Zelle. I don't go too far out when it comes to that. It's very simple. And I do that for safety and security of myself and my guests. Let's go briefly into, the cash situation. I particularly do not prefer to take cash. I don't give out a private location without payment. That is, again, safety and security for my guests and myself. Hey, you can have a crazy girlfriend out there, a crazy husband, anything, I don't want to put my guests in a predicament where their safety is on the line or their safe space or anybody's life is on the line for that matter. Also, there's this big thing going around where I'm going to say single guys at this moment are taking the cake with this. Hey, you're a scammer. And I always ask why. And their situation is, people have, taken my money and there's no females there or something like that. I just want you guys to understand that these fees that you're paying or the donations or the tributes, those are entry fees. Those are not fees to play or anything else of that nature. They are to get you in the door. I I want to make it clear that it's better to come into the event with no expectations. And if you believe deeply that you are paying for an event to play or to play specifically with the females that attend, not provided, but attend, then you have the wrong idea of the lifestyle. I do not provide female services. I do not provide prostitution services. Um, and this is specifically an example. Don't get me wrong. There are majority of guys who ask me, hey, how many ladies are going to be there before they even attempt to pay? And at this particular time, I'm asking them, hey, are you looking for prostitutes? Because, and their response is, no, 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 I didn't mean it that way. So what exactly, do you need? Because it doesn't matter if there was 10, 20, 30 women in the room. That doesn't mean that they're going to be attracted to you. That doesn't mean that they're going to play with you. It doesn't mean anything. And I understand that the luck of the draw may be a little bit greater, more options. I understand that. I definitely understand men who don't want to be, a part of sausage parties and things of that nature. It's a host's job to not have that environment and keep the environment as balanced as possible. But I think it is extremely weird, awkward, and wrong for someone to come in, especially men, thinking that, hey, I'm paying this amount of money or paying this fee to basically have guaranteed intercourse. And that runs into another topic of consent, later on down the line. So today we're just going to really stick to the logistics and hosting and try to stay within the guidelines, and we'll touch on other topics later on. But yeah, after the vetting process, after the payments, then you will receive from me, after the confirmation, a basically a disclaimer with all the house rules, what I expect of you, the attire, the address, the parking rules, all of those things, everything that you need to know to make yourself feel comfortable to attending, my event. Let's definitely get into this particular part when it comes to the rules of the lifestyle. Um, One, the first thing is when you come into my particular environment, again, you're getting the rules before you come into the door. So I expect you to already have done your part and read what I've sent you so you have a clear idea and everybody's on the same page. Of course, some people don't read. How do I know? Because some people say, hey, what's the address? Hey, what's the attire? Hey, what's this? It's all there. I make sure that I am very, very detailed when it comes to my events. I make sure that I give everybody every type of thing that you need to be comfortable with attending a new event, a new host, new anything. It could be a first time. The whole point of being a host is to make sure that everything is really stress free for you. And I really do work hard and I bank on that. So let's get with the rules. The first one is consent. No means no, even in the beginning, the middle, or the end. I make that clear. There are plenty of people who come in just groping, just come and touch. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not going to fly in my environment when I've already given you the rules. That's just not going to work. And then on top of that, you're coming, you're touching the host, you're touching all that. We're not doing that. You will surely get kicked out. And it's just that simple. I will check you. I'll correct you. I'll give you one chance and that's it. It depends on your status. Because if you're a newbie, yes, you may get a little bit of leeway. But again, I sent you the rules. The rules are very simple. And if you have any questions or concerns, I'm here to ask as a host. But if you are seasoned in the lifestyle, you are, a veteran in the game and you're still doing it, oh, you will get kicked out. And I'm not gonna, second guess that or give you another chance because you know better. Um, that's first and foremost. Consent is very, very important. And like I said, consent, I can tell you yes, or someone can tell you yes, and then maybe, hey, it's trash. Anything could happen. Not saying it like that, but if that man or woman wants to stop in the middle of what they're doing, then that is okay, and that's it. Um, the next one I want to talk about is hygiene. When you walk in the door, anybody's door, I would hope that you would come in as clean as you can be. My environment is provided with, like I said, towels, washcloths, hygiene products, the whole nine. There's nothing that I don't provide for you. But again, not every host is big on hospitality, and the environment is not always cozy and welcoming. I do suggest that for men and women, this is not a gender thing. I represent both. I suggest that you guys start learning how to bring a toiletry bag, washcloth, soap, whatever, hand sanitizer, whatever you need, because some of these events, they don't have showers, they don't have kitchens, they don't have these things to provide for you. And it's your responsibility to basically take care of yourself. Come in groomed. Being super, super hairy. I understand, that it could be like a thing, but it's not really a thing when you're surrounded by a bunch of people. I ask that you keep it clean cut, low cut, smooth as a baby's butt. I don't care. Just do something. Men, there are a lot of men in the lifestyle who are uncircumcised. That's an issue. I need you guys to pull back that skin, wash it up, you know what I'm saying, and do what you got to do. Same thing with the ladies. I need you guys to get up in between play. I need you guys to wash in between. I need you guys to come, same thing with hygiene, whether it be, body odor, deodorant, anything. And I'm not saying the parties are funky. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not trying to, get people to not show up. I'm saying that this is a part of life and you're dealing with people. And there are some times where people are coming from work, people are traveling and doing all types of stuff. Nothing wrong with a little fresh up. That's all I'm saying. So hygiene is very, very important. Um, Another thing, when it comes to the rules, my particular place, shoes off at the door. I don't like tracking of dirt around my floor. The ladies like to walk around barefoot. Guys like to suck on toes, all types of stuff. You don't want no pebbles. You don't want any of that going on. So, yeah, that's a rule when you come into my house. Wash your hands when you come into my, and this is my drop box. I call it my house. So at the end of the day, I treat my environment just like it would be my home. I want you guys to treat my environment just like it's my home. When you guys come in, stated like the last episode, I always give you a tour. I always make sure you're comfortable. I expect you guys to treat my, venue just as much as you would treat, your something that you would want to take care of. And going into that, the biggest thing that I want to talk about is the condoms. Condoms must be used at all times. There is no unprotected sex here at these events unless you have come in with a partner, unless that is a mutual decision that you guys have made between yourselves or whoever party you're dealing with. And that's called bareback. Bareback, no bear play. So I'm enlightening you as we go. So if you ever go into an environment and it says no bareback play, that means there is no unprotected sex around whatsoever. Also, fellas, when you doing your thing, I understand you may be soft. You can't get up. You gotta switch the condom. Don't pop it off and throw it to the side. Don't do that. That's gross, okay? Fellas, don't get a freaking baby wipe it off and throw it to the side. You will get banned. I've seen it done before. I'm just not dealing with it. That is bodily fluid. I try to have something like a biohazard container in this environment. I need you guys to put it there, okay? Nobody's going to be picking up any type of condoms, no wrappers, no nothing. That is not my responsibility. That is yours and yours alone. If I find out that you are not taking care of your business, you can go out the door. Same things with the ladies. I don't need you guys taking baby wipes. I do keep baby wipes next to the beds. I don't need you guys taking it, wiping yourselves, and exposing on the floor. That's gross. So I just wanted to, explain some things that do happen in the environment. And these are also part of the rules. Hygiene, pick up your condoms, dispose of your stuff, wash your hands. These are basic household rules that you receive when it comes to, attending the event. I don't really ask for much from my guests. I do clean my environment often throughout the party, make sure everybody's good. But particularly for the hygiene, I need you guys to start bringing your toiletry bags, specifically for any event. I'll make sure you're good. But again, just giving you some, one-on-one, 101 advice, just in case you attend someone else's event who does not provide, those things. Something else that I wanted to touch on as far as rules. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention we do have a wonderful person behind the camera, commentator, producer. She is here, Miss Wonder Woman again. She was lovely enough to direct us on the first episode. She also goes by her dom name, Queen Diana Prince. And when things get a little bit, cloudy up here, she is to detour and keep us, on track. So I just wanted to ask you, is there any other important rule? I'm just touching the basics, of what's going on, but sticking to the logistics and basically the avenue of how they're getting to me and how they're getting to the environment and what I expect of them. So I did the consent, the hygiene. Um, Basically, I'm telling you guys to keep the environment clean. Um, Respect, no means no. I did that already. Let's talk about coming in the environment with a partner. And when you come into the door, you must have some type of understanding or boundary or rule of how you're going to conduct yourself in the environment. And what I mean by that is, especially specifically couples, is a great example. Be on the same page. When you guys come into the environment, couples specifically, in my experience so far, they have tipped the environment and the balance of the environment so bad because they're not on the same page. They're not in agreement. One person wants to play. One person doesn't want that person to play, or they don't want to play at all. Or, excuse me, or they're really not a real couple, meaning they're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend. They're not married. They're just basically friends with benefits, hanging out for the night, trying to figure it out. Please come into the door and know yourself. Please come into the door and know what you want. Because if you don't, I'm going to dissect it. And then I might do something like do your partner. Okay. And then I have to show you exactly how the lifestyle works. But don't do that. That's a joke. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to let you know that there are swindlers out there. If you don't get right, if you don't love on your partner correctly, you might just get sideswiped. And it's just that simple. There are people out here who are really in the lifestyle, who really might be attracted to your person that you came with. So I need y'all to lock that up. Wonder Woman, you got anything else that you? Sorry, I get a little emotional when it comes to that, because I know the difference, between the two, and it can really, really be difficult to navigate in an environment if you don't have understandings. It can really cause a lot of confusion. It can get people into trouble. It can just cause a lot of misunderstandings and just stuff, that drama that you just really just don't want, Miss Wonder Woman.
You covered all the bases
Thank you, ma'am.
quite well, I might say. Um, Speaking on coming in as partners or what have you, it's understood and known that it's more for a single male to get in the door than it is for them to get in with a female. So a lot of guys pick a female if they don't have a female, and they come as a couple, and that's fine. But like you said, when you come in as that couple, have a conversation before you walk in the door. What's going to happen and how it's going to happen. Otherwise, things can get misconstrued, and disrespect can be happening through means of crossing boundaries, and we don't want that.
Right.
Okay, so back to the hosting and the rules. You went over everything quite well, but I just want to ask a couple of questions to solidify what has already been said. So, how do you, as a host, prepare for an event?
Ooh, can you be more specific with that?
Okay, so it's Friday night. You're hosting an event. During the day, Friday, what are you doing to prepare yourself and your environment for that event?
Drinking. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I don't drink like that anyway. But no, that's thank you for asking that question. That's a great question. That's part of the logistics. It starts off with, like I said, you do the flyer. That's something. I am a pop up. I am a pop up shop style brand. So that means I don't, sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll put an event out in advance. But for me, because I'm an artist, because I'm a creator, my thought process never stops. So for me, it's more fun, and it's more fun for me to just really create the ideas as I come. I write a lot of stuff down. That's very important for me. Notebooks are very important for me. Um, I just drop whenever I want. That's how that works. So when it comes to preparation, um, it really is. I try to do the flyer either, I don't want to give too much information, but I try to do the flyer at least 48 hours in advance. When I first started, I did, I was putting events out there, in advance. But again, with the traffic that you get, it's it's really like a give or take situation. If you put a flyer out there or an event out there, there's no guarantee that these people are going to RSVP in advance anyway. The way that the lifestyle normally works, if you don't have a major event, then usually it is very last minute. I've had events sitting on a calendar for 3 weeks, almost a month, and still didn't buzz until that same exact day. So you really just don't know. So I'm going to say, to break the ice with the audience, again, don't come with expectation. Um, Sometimes if you wait too long, you may not get in. But what I can say is there's people out there looking for events, just like anyone else. And it really just depends on what the people are doing out there. But what I'm doing to prepare is putting the flyer out there, whether it be right now in this particular time within 72 hours. I'm running events at this point, meaning running the same events. I've been hosting full time for the last almost 3 years. I've noticed that a lot of the guests have fallen in love with certain events. So like Taco Tuesday, Fucktopia was running, Slut Me Out Saturday, Freak Nasty Friday, those types of things. Um, right now, it's not much that I have to do to prepare, because once you get to that point, it's almost like it's set in stone. So I'm doing less and less work now, when it comes to my weekly events and preparation as far as putting out the flyer. Um, Outside of that, what I'm doing is I'm out there. I'm getting the spreads. I serve my food. I serve, my mixers. I have plenty of water. Like I said, I'm sometimes a 420 vendor. Sometimes I have vendors here. Um, like I said, I'm the DJ. I'm a little bit of everything. I'm rearranging furniture. I'm putting up decorations. I'm just doing everything that needs to be done to make sure that you guys have an awesome evening. And what that preparation is, whatever needs to be done, I get it done. I'm always on my feet. Even people that come to my events and know me as a host, they know that I cannot sit down. I am always on my feet. You know that, Wonder Woman. I'm always on my feet. I'm always walking around making sure, hey, are you good? Hey, do you need this? Walking around cleaning up. And this is also throughout the day. You know what I mean? If I set up something, oh, I want to make sure it's right. Let me add this. Let me add this. I go outside about 4 or 5 times walking. How does it smell? You know what I'm saying? So these are things that I really do take into consideration, to that even little bit of a detail, from the dusting to everything. It has to be on point. So what I'm doing is I'm spending my whole day preparing. And on the days that I do host, I'm very focused. I even put my own personal life aside sometimes to get these events done. And again, hosting full time, it's not easy. You know what I mean? This is a real legit thing for me. I put myself in this environment 24/7, 365, so I could actually get a real experience to prepare every day. So it's not, hey, I'm getting off of work, my 9 to 5, I'm running, I'm trying to pick this up, I'm trying to hurry up. No, that's not it. I'm literally in this 24/7, 365, from the morning to the night. If there are people hit me up on the line, the RSVP line, and it's not even an event day. I still communicate even in between with my guests to let them know, hey, I'm here, I'm available. I'm not just a person that's taking your money and going. Even outside, I want to know if you got home safely. And that's another important thing to talk about. People leave here. Am I just like a piece of chopped liver to you guys? No. At the end of the day, I am very concerned about you guys leaving my space and going home or to wherever you need to go. Because at the end of the day, I don't want nobody come knocking at my door. Well, hey, Elizabeth Gonzalez was last seen at your event. I don't know no Elizabeth Gonzalez. So you go ahead and you do what you need to do. I don't know y'all people. You understand? I don't know none of y'all. So at the end of the day, if you want to go ahead about your business and be like, I'm not concerned. Listen, I did say send me a safety text. That safety text might save something one day. You better watch it. But no, at the end of the day, I really just want to make sure that, I follow up, because that's what professional people do. That's what people who care do. Every single guest, hey, let me know when you get home. Thank you for coming. Do you need anything? Do you want to take anything? Things of that nature. So yeah, I'm preparing for the grand finale. If you want to ask, there's nothing that I'm not preparing for. I'm preparing for every single detail of the event. I'm a perfectionist. And as you know, Wonder Woman, I have about 3 to 4 anxiety attacks a day, just trying to make sure that everything is right, for my guests. So what am I doing to prepare? Having a heart attack.
When she tell y'all she is making sure everything is in order, when I get here, I'm usually the first person here, but let me move something on the counter. This Negro is moving it back to where it was. I was like, damn, my bad.
Don't do me like that.
But you talked about the running of events, which means that you do them continuously, and you talked about Taco Tuesday. That particular event got me hook, line, and sinker. Boy, look at here.
For 2 years straight.
Listen,
2 years
y'all.
straight.
Listen, her tacos be rocking. I come for
you.
the tacos, okay? Don't judge me.
I love to cook. I love to cook for my people.
And you see,
I love it.
She likes to cook. I likes to eat. We get along like that. You see?
Yes. Yes. Come out Taco Tuesday every Tuesday from 9 to 2 a.m. Okay. And I just told you guys how you can get into the building, the process. The numbers are always located on the flyer. I do not do any events unless I drop a flyer. And if I do not drop a flyer, which is probably once in a purple moon, I will always individually text. That's another thing. I care. Once I meet you, I store the numbers. I do not do mass text. I don't do emails, none of that stuff. I literally sit on my couch. That's another preparation that I wanted to say. That's being a host is very tedious, and there's only but so many hours in the day. And like I said, I really do take pride in being a host, and I text people individually. All right. So anyway, I'm a jokester. Please, anybody who knows me that comes to my event knows I am a comedian. If you cannot handle this type of energy, then don't come my way, because I am a goofball and I deserve to be loved. Okay? Go ahead, Wonder Woman.
Well, all right now. So, we talked about the hosting and how difficult it is. But let's talk about what makes it more difficult when the RSVPs start coming in 5 minutes before time for the party to start. How does that affect you as a host?
You mean people showing up directly on time? Or before?
People showing up directly on time, people hitting you during the party, people saying, hey, can I come through now when it's like an hour before time to close? Mm-hmm. People hitting you up after your doors have closed, mm-hmm. and you're like, the party's ended in a few minutes. Why are you coming? Why?
So the thing about that is, because people RSVP literally all day and all night, it's not much that you can do as a host besides maybe tweak some things in your own logistics. For me, one thing that I've learned that maybe can help other hosts, and I've learned this from um, a, a bigger swinger entity. Um, give yourself some grace as a host. Give yourself some time to process. The customer is not always right. I will never say that the customer is always right, because 9 times out of 10 they're wrong. And you have to look at these events as if they are like club hours, actual business. So when you open up your doors, you're open from, say, example, from 9 to 1. I usually allow, if I put a flyer out there, it could be last minute, because I've dropped flyers within hours of an event, and sometimes, like I said, weeks before. But depending on the actual circumstance, if it is last minute, that's something that I'll just, you know what, let me just keep the RSVPs going because it's last minute. But particularly for something in advance, say even a couple of days or a week or whatever, it's smart to, some people do the early bird tickets type of vibe, meaning you're not going to waste my time, because events have to have people. And if you have a host sitting there and nobody's RSVPing, then it's going to cause the impression to the host that, hey, why waste my time? I might as well cancel. Then what happens? The host cancel, and then all these people RSVP. So the guests don't keep in mind that there's a time frame, or there's time that these hosts, including myself, are putting in that's important and, precious. And just to sit around and wait for people, that's not it. But again, it comes with the territory of hosting. So certain complaints kind of get diminished, over time. But as far as to answer your question directly, you want to tweak your logistics as a host. It's trial and error, really. So as time goes on, you'll say, well, this worked, let me keep this. This didn't work, let me go ahead and try something different. So I'm very aware of that type of process. So when it comes to the RSVPs, I don't do early bird tickets, no, none of that stuff. If I say my doors are open from 9 to 2, then I'm prepared from 9 to 2. Once I got caught up a few times with maybe a dead night, because it does happen, you know what I mean? And I have to cancel, then that makes me think, what can I do to avoid this situation moving forward? So what you do to fix a situation like that is, hey, guys, I need you to confirm your payments as soon as possible, maybe an hour before. So I'll be like, hey, payments will stop at 8 o'clock p.m., at least to get a head count, because that also affects people who ask, hey, how many people are coming to your party tonight? And although they do not deserve an answer on that, they do deserve an answer to feel comfortable. You get what I'm saying? But the reality is, you don't know. When you go into a restaurant, you don't ask the manager, hey, how many people are eating here tonight? When you go to a club, you don't be like, hey, how many people are coming through tonight? That's disrespectful to an owner. And it's actually it's a customer privilege, and not in a good way, a customer bad privilege. That means you're abusing something. You're saying, oh, you're not really a business owner, and I'm not coming to support you unless you tell me this. That's not really how reality works. And you're coming off to be an asshole and a prick. And the reality is, you're not truly supporting. So at the end of the day, again, it doubles back to not having expectations of an event. Come to the event for your experience and your experience alone. Again, to reiterate, there may be one person in the room, you'll have a blast, 10 people in the room, and be all jacked up because everybody's on 10 different pages. So you don't want to, you don't want to have that. So just to not get off track with the RSVP, I get them in as early as possible. I try to do it early, an hour before. And then after the start time, what I do is, hey, now I sent out my flyers yesterday, today, the day before that, the day before that. Once the event starts, anybody who has not confirmed their attendance, and RSVP for me in my book is not the same as confirmation. RSVP, some people are calling, they'll just inquire, to get information, but maybe it's too pricey. Maybe it's something, maybe they want to catch it the next day. You never know. So, but when you confirm, which is through payment, those who have confirmed their attendance are now priority in my book. So I can't necessarily stop their experience for people who are not taking the experience seriously, because I don't have time. One, stop texting me at a party and my event is going on to say, hey, how's the event going? Bring your ass to the event. Okay? That's how that works. That's how that works. Stop asking me that. Like I said, it's a certain way that you do things. I don't respond anymore to certain things because of that. It's a waste of my time. I'm being inconsiderate to the guests who are here. You can ask me certain questions. I'll give you, direct answers. I'm very personable and easy to talk, easy to talk to and ask questions. But when you come into, hey, I don't think I'm going to make your event tonight, but can I take you out? Bro, I'm sorry I had to scratch my neck like that on the podcast, but it's a lot. So during the event, I honestly, the RSVPs, you'll get a slower response from me because I'm busy catering to those who are taking the experience seriously. Late RSVPs for people who do want to get in, I keep my ratio. I try to get them as balanced as possible. But the lifestyle, we all know there's a imbalance on certain things because of particular singular needs, is what I call it, between the men and the women, and we'll go into that in another episode. But for this particular reason right now, the RSVPs, again, the first, what I call the early bird ones, I get them in an hour before. Get your payments in. Let them know, hey, after the doors open, I may be unresponsive. It's just that simple because I can't do the phone that's rude. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when the doors close, I do not let anyone in. Unless you have already prepaid, confirmed your spot, then I will let you in the door. But after that, now there are a couple of bins where if it's popping, oh, I'm not closing the doors. Oh, I'm gonna let you in. Especially if I'm vetting you and your profile is nice, you're good, you're serious. Hey, I'll let you in the door. Couples are notorious for being late. Females are notorious for flaking, and guys are notorious for showing up 5 minutes before the event. So at the end of the day, we all got issues, but I am being honest, and upfront about what I'm experiencing. And like I said, this is not something that I'm getting off of work and only spending a couple of hours. No, I'm indulging in this whole entire thing to see what this vessel is and how to move it forward, how to get a better experience, how to get people in the door, how to get the ratio more balanced. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Oh, you answered the question and then some. You talked about coming for the experience. That's what I wanted to expound on. Guys need to understand, and I say guys because this is where I get the most of the flack from the guys. Because they come to these parties and they think someone owes them something because they paid X amount. You are not coming to pay for pussy. Nobody owes you anything. Your payment, your donation was for the atmospheres, for the experience.
Right.
It was for to come and enjoy yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Nobody owes you a damn thing. So if you come in here with your hand on your dick thinking you finna get something because you cute or because you're domineering or because whatever the fuck you think it is, it's not.
Oh, and just to double back. Speaking of that, another rule inside the environment: give space. Do not hover over those who are playing unless you have been called over. And this is specifically directed towards single guys. And this is not an attack. This is just an experience to say there are guys who come into the environment who are very respectful. There is absolutely nothing wrong with beating your meat. I would love to watch you beat your meat. But when it comes to walking over to someone playing, or say, for example, I'm playing, please don't be like this in my face. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't be in the corner with your eyes off. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If don't do that. If you see this lovely lady, you know, blowing her husband, don't go try to stick your stuff in the same mouth at the same time. There's no sword fights going on around here. Okay? Just try to back up, you know. And 101 again, guys, you walk up, you wait. You ask kindly, do you mind if I join? Can I touch you? Do you mind if I touch her? Hey, what do you guys have going on? You guys a couple, single, anything? Get your information first before you just walk over there with your turtleneck and then just start going wherever you need to go. Okay? Ask the lady if she's into bukkake, anything. Just ask. And if you don't know bukkake, we learned a lot of vocabulary today. Bukkake is when you got multiple men just, giving you the facial, just to rub it in like Noxzema, Claricel, all that stuff, get rid of all the pimples and stuff. It helps. I mean, I've tried it a few times. It helps. It clears your skin. Am I glowing? Oh, okay.
Like a neon.
So I just wanted to, it's great for the skin. I'm not saying that listen, I'm a comedian. Don't take anything that I say about my life serious, okay? Because a lot of this stuff could have really happened, okay? But anyway, yes. As far as the RSVPs, I didn't want to go too much off of the rules and stuff, but that definitely brought me back, to that, to the consent and the rules and things of that nature. So,
absolutely. So we talked about the ratio and how you try to keep that at a balance. But what happens when you get people that pay and don't show up?
Pay and don't show up. That's, I mean, I got paid. But particularly for me, as a host, it's not about the money for me. It's about the presence. So for people who pay and don't show up, there could be an ample amount of reasons. It's just that simple. People get tired, they travel from work or whatever, go home, take a shower, eat something, get the itis or whatever, fall asleep. Who knows? Cars break down, all types of stuff happen. That's something that's out of my control. But what I don't appreciate are those who lie when they don't show up. You know what I mean? I'm very, very big on communication. And again, that boils down to the type of people that you're dealing with. I've dealt with so many different types of personalities. I've had those who are very courteous. Hey, I can't make it. I broke down. I'm tired. Da da da. That's respect. Cool. Who am I? You get what I'm saying? But what I don't respect is those like, hey, I'm on my way. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. And it's even worse. Single guys, I'm like, okay, they're an abundance of a flow. So if one drops off, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. I'll maybe credit them or something like that. When it comes to couples and single ladies, they flake the most, lie the most. Single ladies are more of, I fell asleep, I'm too tired, and they lie on their period like no other. Like, I don't see how chicks are getting periods like 3-4 times a month. Now I get it. Birth control can do that. You can have it. It can happen, but not as often as it's happening around here. It's just, it's impossible, because a lot of you guys, like, I'm not an investigator, but I'm just not stupid either. Like, you're on your period, you can't make it here, but you at the party the next day. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's just big on communication. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, when it comes to RSVPs and all that stuff, I think that it's not much that you can really do as a host besides just say, hey, push it out there, promote it. Hey, you get in, or get in now, pay now, or you may not get in with a spot or whatever else. If you RSVP after the start time, there may be a small delay. It's, as you can see, it's building up. You can get in before, might be a small delay after, and then after the doors close, it's going to be absolutely crickets. So that's how that works. So the moral of the story is, don't wait last minute. Don't ask the host, hey, who's going to be there? Just get in there and let the host do what they're supposed to do as far as the curating and keeping the balance and the ratio and all that stuff going. Because what happens is you just miss out on a great night.
Okay, so you talked about your vetting process and the things that you are looking for. What are some things that will make you turn a person away
before they get to the event?
Before they get to the event, during the vetting process.
Hey, how many ladies are going to be there? I mean, females do the same thing. What's the party looking like tonight? Again, business owners don't know. It's traffic. Yes, I send it out to my regulars. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I have a community, but still, these are people with lives. You have to look at the logistics in a more realistic type of, manner. That's what turns away. Hey, can I pay cash at the door? The flyer clearly says, hey, prepayment to get location. Prepayment to get location. How am I supposed to give you a location to get the cash? It's not going to work. It's not adding up. I'm not putting my safety on the line for, people who just don't want to do what needs to be done to respect the process to get in. It's just that simple.
Okay. You talked about how you like to be contacted once somebody finds your flyer. You said that you like to be texted as opposed to anything else. And I understand. However, would you entertain a person if they found your flyer, let's say they found it on Instagram, and they DM'd you on Instagram? Would you reply to that?
Yeah. So because my main page is on Instagram, that is the only place that I will allow you to DM. But again, if you DMing doesn't do anything for the RSVP of the party. You can ask me a question in the DM, sure. But as far as RSVPing, my response in the DM would be to contact the number that's located on the bottom of the flyer. You still have to go through that process because there's other information, like I stated prior, that I'm going to send back to you. And it's very lengthy. It does not fit in Instagram. It does not fit in WhatsApp. It doesn't fit in those things. So I have to send it through a text message. And I prefer it that way because, one, it helps me store the information that I need after for the future. There are things that I do in the process as a host that guests don't need to know about because that is the logistics of the business. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed my train of thought.
We talked about your responsibilities as the host. What are some of the things that you are not responsible for that the guests seem to just assume that you're supposed to do? I would say the biggest thing in my
I'm going to cut you off. The biggest thing that these people expect me to do is feed them.
I feel attacked.
What's wrong with y'all?
I feel attacked.
Yeah, you should feel attacked
because
she's the greediest one that comes to my
Because I just said Taco Tuesday got me hook, line, and sinker.
Now let me tell you, that's one thing that I definitely take pride on is I have really began to accept the love that comes my way when it comes to providing the food for my guests. I too am a foodie, and I'm in here gobbling, 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 just like everybody else. Um, it's something that is special to me. It's something that I put love into for my guests. At the end of the day, I think that it's important again to make sure that people are just overall healthy. Um, Although they don't expect me to do it and I do it, again, that's also a part of the logistics of hosting and being a good host. Again, people are in here smoking, drinking, things of that nature. I personally don't feel good knowing that somebody just had something to drink and their stomach is empty. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about, someone smoking, being dehydrated and no waters in the building. I have been there before, you know, lightheaded, head spinning, about to pass out. Like, hey, anybody got any water? Anybody got any, anything, a freaking Hawaiian roll or something? Like, give me something, you know don't just take the people's money. And again, we talk about how pricing ranges, and that's another thing. I take my men into consideration. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. The men at the end of the day are paying the most money. You damn right I'm gonna feed you. You damn right I'm gonna give you something to drink. You get what I'm saying? You're paying between $80 to $100 here. There are some parties where you're going from 80 to 150, 200 sometimes. And they can't give you nothing but some prostitute pussy. Like, now, YouTube, I don't know if I could say that or not. Don't get me. But at the end of the day, that's real. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm offering that most people, and I haven't been to a party. And if I do attend an event, now I'm good at serving pizza too, but I do serve other things, but it's always just pizza, and that's about it. But again, I'm not knocking anybody. I serve pizza too, but I need a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, um, yeah, the food is everything. I don't have to do it, but I do it,
Yes,
and
she
I
does.
love it.
And she does it very well.
I love it. I love for my people to eat.
Me eats good.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that the number one thing that I feel like guys are slacking on at these parties is they come to these parties unequipped. I mean, you come to a sex party expecting to have sex. First of all, that's wrong. And then you ain't got no condoms. Make it make sense.
Yes. The events are BYOB and BYOC. Although there are condoms provided in the environment, it's preferred that you bring your own. Um, Most guys, they usually just bring magnums or skins anyway, but at the end of the day, yes, that's something you should come prepared with. I personally am providing them because women have latex issues and things of that nature, and then some guys just go get the magnums and just kind of call it the day. But the reality is you should be showing up with a condom where you cannot play. um Although there are condoms in the environment, like I said, and the women who come, they may provide or have someone else. That's your responsibility. Condoms are expensive. When it comes to parties, don't come thinking that you're going to use everybody's condoms and drink up everybody's liquor and all that stuff, because that's just not going to happen. So when it comes to the environment, you need to bring your own condoms, and it says that on the flyer. It says that on the event description. It says it just about everywhere, and even in the disclaimer that's sent to you after payment. So there's no excuse why you should be coming in the door, with no condoms, especially a sex party. That's correct. But yes, thank you, Wonder Woman, for guiding and directing me. I really do appreciate, your time and your questions. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna redirect this back, but I think I've have touched the basics of everything of the topic today. So the topic today was basically hosting and the lifestyle logistics, and how the customers actually get to me and how they get in the door and what I expect of them, and a little bit of things that I do offer. But there's so much more to come, so much more for me to give you guys. Like I said, this is just the beginning. Episode number 2. Really looking forward to seeing you guys next week. We're dropping every Monday at 8 a.m. Again, you can find me on Spotify and Patreon at lifestyledropbox.com. You can find me on Instagram at lifestyledropbox _ podcast, and also lifestyledropbox _ drop _ box. So I hope to see you guys again. And again, I'm Taz Queen Katra, and I'm out. And make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.